If you're watching this, you probably know that moment. The moment the world goes sideways, literally and figuratively. One minute you're reaching for a coffee cup. The next, your arm isn't yours anymore. The room tilts. Words in your head become gibberish on your tongue. That was me. And like so many, I was told the first 6 months were my only window for recovery. That after a year, what was left was my new normal. I'm here to tell you that is a devastating and incomplete story. What if the roadmap you've been given for stroke recovery is missing critical pages? What if the fatigue that crushes you, the words that hide from you, and the weakness in your limbs aren't just permanent damage to be accepted, but signals of a brain struggling to rebuild without the right raw materials? This isn't just about physical therapy. It's about cellular rehabilitation. I'm not a doctor. I'm someone who has been in the trenches, who crawled back from a place where tying a shoe was a distant memory, and I did it by understanding what my brain was truly hungry for. Welcome. Today, we're not talking about just managing life after a stroke. We're talking about reclaiming it. We're going to explore 8 powerful, nutrient-dense strategies that target the very foundations of neurological repair. This is about feeding the recovery, not just fighting the symptoms. The conventional model of stroke rehab is like trying to rebuild a cathedral with a tiny toolkit and no blueprint. You do the exercises, you go to speech therapy, but you hit a wall. The progress stalls. The fatigue is overwhelming. This is because the brain, in its miraculous attempt to heal, is consuming massive amounts of energy and specific nutrients to rewire itself. A process called neuroplasticity. If it doesn't get those materials, the rebuilding stops. Think of your brain after a stroke as a construction site where the central command center has been damaged. The workers, your brain cells, are still there, desperate to rebuild the bridges, neurons, and roads, neural pathways that have been destroyed. But they need specific materials, proteins to build new structures, fats to insulate the new wiring, and a constant supply of energy to power the immense effort. When you only focus on the exercises without providing the building blocks, it's like asking those workers to construct a skyscraper with no steel, no concrete, and no power. The profound fatigue that 70% of stroke survivors experience isn't laziness. It's metabolic. Your brain is running a marathon every single day on an empty tank. The slow, frustrating progress in your weak hand or leg isn't just a motor problem. It's often a signaling issue. The messages from the brain are getting lost or short-circuited because the insulation around the nerves, the myelin sheath, is damaged and struggling to repair itself. I learned this the hard way. After my stroke, I plateaued for months. My left side was weak, my speech was slurred under pressure, and the fatigue was a constant, heavy blanket. I was doing everything right in therapy, but I was stuck. It was only when I started to look at my recovery as a nutritional engineering project that everything changed. The shift wasn't overnight, but it was real. The tingling in my fingers turned from a numb sensation to a buzzing feeling of waking up. The words started to find their pathways more easily. The heavy fatigue began to lift, not completely, but enough to give me back hours of my day. So, why isn't this common knowledge? Why is the conversation so focused on movement and repetition, and so silent on mitochondrial support and neurogenesis? Because we've been conditioned to see the brain as a fixed, unchangeable organ after injury, rather than the dynamic, plastic, and resource-hungry system it is. We treat the symptoms with medications for spasticity, for mood, for blood pressure, but we rarely ask, what does a rebuilding brain need to eat? That's the paradigm shift. Your lingering symptoms are not just reminders of damage. They're guideposts pointing to specific nutritional deficiencies in the repair process. The weakness in your hand might be a cry for specific amino acids to rebuild motor neurons. The brain fog could be a signal for more omega-3s to reinforce cell membranes. The fatigue is almost certainly a demand for better mitochondrial fuel. This changes everything. It moves you from a passive patient, waiting for time to heal, to an active architect of your own recovery. You're not just doing your exercises, you're providing the biological tools to make those exercises actually build something permanent. The strategies I want to share with you are 8 targeted nutritional approaches. These aren't bizarre, expensive supplements or impossible to find foods. They are powerful, research-backed ways to upgrade your diet into a recovery protocol. Each one addresses a specific part of the neurological repair process, from reducing the inflammation that hinders healing to providing the precise fats your brain uses to re-insulate its wiring. Let's start with the first one, which might seem too simple to be powerful: deep-colored berries. I'm not talking about the sugary berry-flavored snacks. I mean the darkest, richest berries you can find: wild blueberries, blackberries, raspberries. These fruits are packed with compounds called anthocyanins. Think of these as the cleanup crew that arrives at the construction site of your brain after the disaster. In the aftermath of a stroke, the brain is inflamed. This inflammation is like a fire that continues to damage surrounding tissue long after the initial event. It creates a hostile environment for healing. The anthocyanins in these berries are master inflammation quenchers. They cross the blood-brain barrier and directly calm this inflammatory storm, allowing the repair processes to proceed unhindered. But here's how to make them truly therapeutic. Pair them with a source of healthy fat, like a handful of walnuts or a spoonful of almond butter. Why? Because the beneficial compounds in berries are fat-soluble. Without fat, your body struggles to absorb them fully. The walnuts also add another layer of support. They're rich in alpha-linolenic acid, ELA, a type of omega-3 that your brain can use for repair. So, the berries calm the fire, and the fats help your brain use the berries more effectively and provide their own building materials. This is the principle of strategic pairing that we'll see again and again. Nutrients are rarely loners. They work in teams. The next strategy is one of the most direct ways to support the very structure of your brain cells: egg yolks. For years, egg yolks were demonized, but for a recovering brain, they are liquid gold. The yolk is one of the richest dietary sources of choline. Choline is the precursor to acetylcholine, a critical neurotransmitter for memory, focus, and learning, all the things you're trying to retrain after a stroke. But even more importantly, for neuroplasticity, choline is used to make phosphatidylcholine, a fundamental component of every single cell membrane in your brain. When you're trying to rebuild neural pathways, you are literally trying to grow new cell membranes. Choline provides the raw material. It's like delivering bricks to the construction site. The fear of cholesterol is often misplaced, especially in this context. Your brain is mostly made of fat and cholesterol. It needs these molecules to rebuild. To maximize the benefit, I always recommend eating the yolk soft-boiled or poached, paired with a dark leafy green like spinach. The greens provide B vitamins that act as essential cofactors in the neurological processes that use choline. It's a complete repair package. Now, let's talk about a true powerhouse for energy production: the humble lentil. The fatigue after a stroke is debilitating. A big part of this is that the mitochondria, the energy powerhouses in every cell, are damaged and inefficient. You can't rebuild a city with a faltering power grid. Lentils are a triple threat in this regard. First, they're a fantastic source of complex carbohydrates that provide a slow, steady release of glucose, the brain's primary fuel. No spikes, no crashes, just steady energy. Second, they are rich in magnesium, a mineral that is crucial for mitochondrial function and nerve transmission. Many stroke survivors are deficient in magnesium. Third, they provide plant-based protein and iron, which are essential for oxygen transport and tissue repair. A simple lentil soup, seasoned with turmeric and black pepper, becomes a therapeutic meal. The turmeric is a potent anti-inflammatory, and the black pepper dramatically increases its absorption. This combination supports energy, reduces inflammation, and provides building blocks, all in one bowl. For addressing the specific weakness and communication issues between the brain and muscles, we look to wild-caught salmon. The connection between your brain and your muscles relies on nerves that are insulated by a fatty substance called myelin. After a stroke, this insulation can be damaged, leading to slow, uncoordinated, or weak movements. The key fats for repairing myelin are the long-chain omega-3 fatty acids, EPA, and DHA. Wild-caught salmon is one of the best sources of these on the planet. DHA isn't just a supplement, it's a structural component of your brain. When you consume it, you're providing the exact material your body needs to re-insulate its neural wiring. This can lead to improvements in coordination, strength, and the speed of neural responses. Pairing salmon with a cruciferous vegetable like broccoli is a winning strategy. Broccoli is rich in sulforaphane, a compound that activates the body's own antioxidant systems, providing an extra layer of protection for the delicate new neural pathways you're trying to build. The fifth strategy is often overlooked but critical for detoxification and cellular communication. Beets. After a stroke, blood flow to affected areas of the brain is compromised. Beets are naturally high in dietary nitrates, which the body converts to nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is a potent vasodilator, meaning it helps to relax and widen blood vessels, improving circulation and delivering more oxygen and nutrients to the brain regions that need them most. Furthermore, beets support the liver's detoxification pathways. The brain is a metabolically active organ, and its repair processes generate waste products that need to be cleared. A healthy liver is essential for a healthy brain. A simple roasted beet salad with a lemon tahini dressing is ideal. The lemon provides vitamin C to enhance iron absorption from the beets, and the tahini, sesame seed paste, provides healthy fats and minerals. This combo supports blood flow, detoxification, and nutrient absorption. Next, let's talk about a spice that is a pharmacy in itself: turmeric. Chronic inflammation is one of the biggest roadblocks to recovery. It's like trying to build a house in the middle of a hurricane. The curcumin in turmeric is one of the most powerful natural anti-inflammatory compounds known. It works on multiple pathways in the body to quiet the inflammatory signals that prevent healing. However, curcumin is poorly absorbed on its own. This is where strategic pairing is non-negotiable. Always consume turmeric with black pepper. Piperine, a compound in black pepper, enhances the absorption of curcumin by up to 2,000%. And because it's fat-soluble, have it with a healthy fat like coconut oil or olive oil. A golden milk latte made with turmeric, a pinch of black pepper, coconut oil, and a milk of your choice is a delicious way to get a daily dose of this powerful anti-inflammatory support. For supporting mood and protecting nerve cells, we turn to dark leafy greens. Kale, spinach, Swiss chard. These are powerhouses of folate and other B vitamins. Folate is essential for the production of neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, which play a huge role in mood regulation. Post-stroke depression is common and can severely hamper motivation for recovery. Beyond mood, these greens are rich in antioxidants like vitamin E and vitamin K, which protect brain cells from ongoing oxidative stress. Sautéing them lightly in olive oil with garlic not only makes them delicious, but also increases the bioavailability of their fat-soluble nutrients and adds the anti-inflammatory benefits of garlic. Finally, let's address the gut-brain connection with fermented foods. Your gut is often called your second brain for a reason. The vagus nerve is a massive information superhighway connecting your gut and your brain. The state of your gut microbiome directly influences brain inflammation and even neurotransmitter production. After a stroke, this axis is often disrupted. Fermented foods like sauerkraut, kimchi, kefir, and unsweetened yogurt, if you tolerate dairy, provide probiotics that help restore a healthy gut flora. A healthier gut means less systemic inflammation, better production of certain B vitamins, and improved communication along the vagus nerve to the brain. Even a small serving of high-quality sauerkraut with a meal can make a difference. The key is to look for unpasteurized versions in the refrigerated section, as pasteurization kills the beneficial bacteria. The consistent theme across all 8 of these strategies is synergy. You're not just eating individual superfoods. You're creating a biochemical environment that is conducive to healing. You're reducing inflammation, providing precise building blocks, supporting energy production, and enhancing communication. It's a full-spectrum approach. What can you realistically expect? This is not a magic bullet. It is a gradual, cellular-level rebuilding process. In my experience, And from talking with countless others who have adopted this approach, the first changes are often felt in energy levels and mental clarity within a few weeks. The brain fog begins to lift. The crushing fatigue becomes more manageable. Over a period of 1 to 3 months, many people notice improvements in specific functions: a stronger grip, clearer speech under pressure, better balance. The tingling or numbness in affected limbs may change character, feeling more like a reawakening than a deadness. This is the nervous system coming back online. The key, above all else, is consistency. You are providing daily support to a process that never stops. The brain wants to heal. It is wired for neuroplasticity. By giving it the right raw materials every single day, you're not just hoping for recovery. You're actively, physiologically building it. This is the ultimate shift in perspective. You move from being a victim of a past event to being the chief engineer of your future function. Every meal, every snack becomes a deliberate step toward reclaiming your territory. You're not just feeding your body, you are feeding your recovery. As I often remind myself, nourish the brain you want to rebuild, not just the body you have to maintain. This mindset turns the daily chore of eating into a powerful act of self-directed healing. If you are on this journey, know that the path forward is built with more than just exercise and willpower. It's built with every intentional, nutrient-dense bite you take. The power to change your recovery trajectory is, quite literally, already on your plate.